Just how romanceable is your D&D character? Not sure? Don't worry, I'm here to help. I am happily married, so when someone replies to my email newsletter and asks, do you like older guys? That's a no thank you from me. Sorry, Michael. Hope you enjoy your 10% discount in my shop though. But in making videos recently about romance in D&D games, I've been seeing some of you worried that your D&D character might not attract that kind of attention. So even though I'm not single, I'm gonna roleplay as a single girl and give your characters some honest feedback about how romanceable they really are. A few weeks ago, I asked you to submit your D&D characters for me to romance, and a few of you said no. But that's fine, because 1,500 of you said yes. That's why this didn't come out before Valentine's Day, by the way. Turns out 1,500 submissions is a lot to process. So today, we're playing the game Wikipedia says has been criticized as tasteless and juvenile. That's right, it's F*** Marry Kill. Except my brand is way too wholesome for that, so instead, it's Dally Court Slay. Are they sexy enough to have a dalliance with, lovable enough for courtship, or suitable only to be slain? Let's find out. So I made a Google form for people to submit their D&D characters. I wanted to make sure I was collecting enough information to know what makes each character interesting, but I also know how much people love to talk about their D&D characters, so there had to be some limits. I think I've come up with a good middle ground, so I'm gonna test it out by filling it out with one of my characters. First, my name and pronouns. Me, the Puppet Master. A little checkbox to make sure everybody knows that if they submit something, I can use it in a video. Not everyone is into D&D romance, but if they filled out this form, they're into it. All right, character name. I'm gonna use the character that I created for last year's PAX Unplugged Legend Society live play show. Her name is Cinclora Errata, the Latin name for a very cute moth called the wavy-lined emerald moth. She goes by Laura. I named her after the moth because she's a moth girl fairy.
She was a fairy.
For her age, I'm gonna write who knows, because she grew up in the Feywild where time passes differently, but also she has no memory of what her life was like when she was a larva before she pupated. It's more like she wasn't, and then one day she was. This is how you get away with having no backstory for a one-shot character. Okay, species and class. She's a fairy, of course, and she's an Archfey warlock. I have been really enjoying the new Archfey warlock from the 2024 update. Physical description. Laura's whole body is covered in a fine white fur that tinges green and grows thicker at her calves and forearms. She has huge green wings and curling feathery antennae, moth antennae, unsettlingly sharp teeth, proboscis, and pitch black insectoid eyes. As much as I deeply want to cosplay this little spooky moth girl, I have not found time for that yet. So I found a great bug person pick crew. It's like a doll maker website, and the pick crew is by the artist Ibby Wondress on Pick Crew. All right, up to 3 interests. Laura is interested in light, she's a moth. Mortal watching, she just finds them very curious. And causing fear. She doesn't like when people are like, aw, a cute little fairy, because she thinks they should be afraid of her. And they should, to be fair. Describe your character's ideal first date. I think she'd probably wanna, like, share a sweater or two for dinner, and then take a little nighttime flutter to look for bright lights to check out. What is your character's sexiest quality? Well, she's very soft. What is your character's biggest red flag? So many things could go here. I think her biggest red flag is that she likes mortals the way that children like bugs. Like, she finds them interesting, but also their lives are not super valuable to her, and she might be willing to take one of their lives just kind of to see what happens. And that is it. And then we just hit submit. If Laura's submission were to get picked for the video, we would make her basically a Tinder profile like this. Laura is very much a one-shot character. She doesn't have a whole lot of depth yet, but she is awfully fun to play. I got to bring her out for the first time at PAX Unplugged when Pointy Hat and I put together our first Legend Society live play show, which we're planning to bring to more conventions this year.
And the ticking that I'm hearing and the ticking from this one are the same.
So there's another one that's maybe in your brain.
Oh, get it right.
Okay,
Maybe we need to
let's
take
knock
it
it
apart and see what's inside.
There's tools here, we can just go in.
This will be really quick. Just a quick You see, as she now backs away, you don't have to roll for intimidation at this point.
That game was sponsored by Infinite Stories, a free-to-use digital toolkit for tabletop games. Huge thank you to Infinite Stories for sponsoring our live play. We absolutely could not have produced that show without their support. I posted the forum on my YouTube channel on Sunday morning right before heading out to D&D. In my head, I was like, I'll probably leave it open about a week, just to make sure I get enough replies. Intelligence is my dump stat, you guys. A few hours later, we take a quick break before combat and I check on the forum just to see whether or not anyone's submitting anything, and we're already at 900 something submissions. I remember thinking, that already feels like a lot. Maybe I should cut it off at 1,000? And then I took my turn in combat and looked at the forum again, and it was at 1,400. So I quickly edited the forum to cap responses at 1,500, which is too many. Way too many to read. I am an idiot and probably should have set the cap at like 200 right off the bat. I just seriously underestimated how into this idea you guys would be. I started looking through the submissions and trying to organize them. And I gotta say, you guys made not sexualizing any underage characters into an Olympic sport. Yeah, I can delete any submissions that list their age as 16, but what about the ones who list their age as 9, but that's adult for a kobold? Or looks 25, but was created by a god 5 years ago. Anyway, it quickly became obvious that I could not do this alone. So I made a free public post on my Patreon asking for volunteer matchmakers. Fun fact, you actually don't have to pay anything to become a free member on Patreon, and I post stuff there that doesn't go out on my public social media. I don't know why I called that a fun fact. That's just a regular fact. I got over 100 volunteers that night, so I broke out my spreadsheet into 75 batches of 20 characters each, and then I emailed each batch to 2 volunteers for review. I asked them to read through all the submissions and pick out just one that they would match me with for a date, whether because it would be a good match or because it would be very funny. That resulted in a list of 135 nominees, which I handed off to the person who knows my type better than anyone else, my husband.
Hello, my name is Josh. I am Ginny's husband. See, I have proof right here.
So what criteria did you use picking out these characters?
I think I had 3 main categories. The first category was sort of the more traditional like archetypes that people might be interested in romancing. My personal favorite, which are just weird little guys. I have a soft spot for that.
But you're not romancing them, I'm romancing them.
One can dream. My third category was characters that I think you would actually romance.
I love that that's only 1 in 3 characters that you pick.
Listen, I was given free reign to select these characters, so I did with them what I wished. I think there are some like sort of archetypes that you enjoy. I picked those especially for you.
Thanks, babe.
You're welcome. Marry Kill is...
No, we're not doing Marry Kill, we're doing Dally Court Slay.
Okay. Dally Court Slay. You're presented with 3 people, and you are forced to make a decision about those 3 people, either to dally them, court them, or slay them.
I think it's dally with? The dally with them?
Dalliance with thine character.
How did you decide which ones to put in groups of 3 together?
I grouped the characters based off of wanting to make the decision interesting and not easy. There are characters that you probably wouldn't necessarily want to either dally, court, or slay that are forced into a group in order to, you know, make you do a little bit of mental gymnastics to figure out which one you want to put where.
You're intentionally not giving me like 1 sexy character, 1 lovable character, and 1 evil character.
Exactly. It shouldn't be, I don't want it to be an easy decision for you to make. I would like you to sort of sweat a little bit, I guess. It'll be interesting to see which ones you pick.
Well, thanks for helping me.
Oh, you're so welcome. Okay, well, now it's time for you to make your decisions. I'll sit here in the cuck chair. Just kidding.
You can't say that on my channel. People are gonna think you're serious.
I'm not serious. This is a joke.
First batch. First we have Hurgush. If you treat the apostrophes as a pause, then it's Hurgush. A half-orc bard, a college of valor. accidental warlock. You know, shit happens. Gray skin, 5'8", 195 pounds, honestly pretty jacked. Big, thick mustache in an attempt to hide his big old tusks. The mustache is not hiding the tusks at all. Gush's interests include music, art history, his support group for abandoned half-orcs. So sweet. His sexiest quality is that he's very talented at music, songwriting, and poetry. He also has the washboardiest of washboard abs, if that matters. I mean, I think it matters. Biggest red flag, he's far too trusting and honestly kind of stupid. He accidentally became a warlock because he signed a document that he assumed was a recording contract and is still convinced he's just a bard and his patron is his agent. I mean, I like having a fancy dinner, I like going to the theater, I love music, and I don't mind washboard abs. The mustache? I don't know. I'm not like a big mustache girly, but I don't know. He's kind of pulling it off. This feels like the kind of mustache that was popular like 10 years ago when having a mustache suddenly became a personality trait. Do you remember that? I think that was also the time when everybody got the mustache tattoos. I'm so glad I never did that. Okay, so that's Urgush. Next we have Cassia, a 25-year-old half-fae bard. Oh, this must be the bard grouping. Putting all the bards in one group. There can only be one. Half-fae bard. She is a pastry chef who uses her pastries to fight, and she summons cookie familiars. Strong recommendation for a partner. Just ease of access to baked goods. She's a petite half-fae with a pink mullet. Oh, she's so cute. Her interests are collecting rocks she finds cute, DIY, same. Her ideal date starts with tavern hopping to rank the food from best to worst. Uh-oh. I'm beginning to think that she's gonna need a partner who has a big appetite, which is not me. Then searching for a cute rock in a golem field, even if it means getting into a brawl, and finally wrapping up the day with a hot chocolate. Very wholesome. Sexiest quality, she is passionate about everything she does. Biggest red flag, she expresses love exclusively through food. If you refuse a cookie because you're full, she takes it as a personal betrayal and might sulk for days. We could not have a relationship. She needs like the kind of person who would get their money's worth out of an all-you-can-eat buffet, and that is just not me. I'm more of a, is there an actual age limit on the children's menu kind of eater. All right, our third bard is Holy Terry. 32, but dresses and acts like he's early 20s. Bad sign, just an early bad sign. Terry is a lawful evil youth pastor. Oh my god. He is 6'3", 220 pounds of sculpted muscles that he is way too fond of showing off. He has dark, wavy, shoulder-length hair, piercing blue eyes, and a face that could have been carved by Michelangelo. All right, so he's an evil hottie. I gotta say, like, those really, really bright blue eyes, I do think maybe people who have those eyes are maybe evil. They're maybe all evil. Just a theory that I have. But they can absolutely be hot. Interests, social manipulation, serving his dark lord, working on his image. Describe your character's ideal first date. Something focused on him. Maybe she meets him after his praise and worship service that he leads. Very doubtful that I'd be at one of those, no matter the god. Then they spend the whole evening around people that idolize him. He keeps her on his arm like an accessory. This character was put in here for me to slay. His sexiest quality is that his whole purpose in being is to attract people to worship his deity. He is very physically attractive and gives off a strong pheromone. It is enough that he gets disadvantage on stealth in some social situations. Like, he gets disadvantage on stealth because if he walks past a guard and they can smell him, they're gonna be like, excuse me, did someone sexy just walk by? Red flag, Terry is an absolute piece of shit. Yeah, to be honest, he sounds kind of made of red flags. His whole thing is that he attracts people and fools them into serving his god. He is deceptive and manipulative, and that's on a good day. Okay, I mean, let's be real here. The only world in which I would not slay Holy Terry is if there was somebody else that could be slain, and then Holy Terry could be the dalliance, because he does sound like he's extremely hot. I'm not gonna murder one of these other two nice people in order to sleep with a piece of shit who happens to be hot. So we're slaying Holy Terry. Consider him slain. And then we're down to Urgush and Cassia. I have to say, I just don't see a relationship between me and Cassia working out since she needs somebody with an appetite. So I'm gonna say I would have a dalliance with Cassia and I would marry Urgush and we would make beautiful music together. We could start a band. We could be one of those couples who is a band. Onward to batch 2. Next suitors, please. Oh God. Grandpa Icebeak. He is an elderly Aarakocra sorcerer. Bluish eagle man with poorly maintained, slightly molting feathers. He can't look after himself quite the way he used to due to his age and mobility issues. Oh, Grandpa. Interests: numerology, cold magic, yelling at the kids to stay off his lawn. We would have that in common. Kids don't come onto our lawn. It's 2026. Kids don't go outside anymore. His ideal first date is a coffee date with suitably soft pastries because it's a little tricky to chew hard things with his old beak and jaw. Followed by a long walk where he gets to regale his date with stories of his past adventures, half of which are made up. This does not sound like a date. This sounds like I work at a nursing home. A nursing home for eagles. His sexiest quality is that he may be old and arthritic to the point of being flightless, but even if he can't lift off, he still has the confidence and humor to land all the ladies at the retirement home. So his sexiest quality is just that, like, he's the hottest guy at the retirement home. I don't know that that's a big selling point for me. His biggest red flag: he still dearly loves his deceased wife, and no one will ever truly replace her in his heart. Also, he's old enough that every adventure he goes on may be his last. Oof. You know, we're from different generations. We want different things. Grandpa Icebeak replies to my email newsletter, "Are you into older guys?" All right, next up we have Juicer, a 25 to 26-year-old auto-gnome alchemist artificer. He is a walking and talking blender. Slick red steel frame, the purest glass body, and a big nozzle on the middle of his face for dispensing toxic potions, as well as relaxing alcoholic smoothies. He's also a solid 2'5", parentheses perfect counter size. This is shaping up to be a great group. Interests: bartending, mechanics, and communicating with the dead. Only in D&D. His sexiest quality is either his terrible German accent or that big nozzle of his. Nothing sexier than a blender with a big nozzle. I have nothing against an alcoholic smoothie. That said, just even the idea of having an adult relationship with a blender sounds violent in a way that I don't like. All right, our final one for this crew. Knick-knack. She, her, or it, its. Age. It's complicated. Do we count biological age if you're a soul trapped in a gem? About mid-400s is a good guess. Okay, fair enough. You know, at least she's of age. Species and class: haunted doll warlock. 18 inches tall, red yarn hair in braids, black button eyes, a permanently stitched on grin, and freckles. Oh, and she's full of bugs. The player literally made a doll? This is incredible. Interests: bugs, revenge, and bugs. Knick-knack's ideal first date: going on a walk in the park, or a dark cave, or maybe an abandoned building, hunting for powerful magic items, maybe even overthrowing her patron and taking over his throne in the 7th circle of hell, and tormenting those who have wronged us for all of time eternal. Sorry, is she moving too fast? I mean, it sounds exciting. It'd be way more exciting than going on a date with Grandpa Icebeak. Sexiest quality: don't dig deep in Knick-knack, there's only bugs there. But she's very powerful and she'll always order for you at a restaurant if you're nervous. You know what? That is actually a strong selling point for me. If I like say no cheese and then the dish comes with cheese, like she would say, "Excuse me, she said no cheese," which I would never say. What is your character's biggest red flag? Stop me if you've heard this before. It's the bugs. Yeah, I feel like if it weren't for the bugs, haunted doll would be in my wheelhouse. But a haunted doll full of bugs? I'm not cool enough to like be that cool with bugs. I think people who are that cool with bugs are genuinely very cool. That's just not me. I don't love bugs. Oh God, what are we gonna do? I can't dally with any of these characters. What is happening? This is a tough one. I think I need a minute. Why don't you go talk to sponsor Ginny for 60 seconds and I'll meet you back here. A good date needs a good location. That's the main reason I use Chepeku. Okay, maybe not the main reason, but it's up there. Chepeku makes maps, scenes, and tokens for tabletop games. I used their maps long before they sponsored me. They pretty much always have what I need, and they're beautiful. But are they beautiful enough to make a great first date location? Let's find out. First, Hidden Witch's Hut. Pros include privacy, a babbling brook, strong picnic potential. Not romantic enough? Every map has 20+ variations, like a soft spring version, or make it raining so you have to huddle under a tree for warmth. Next, Hell's Cocktail Lounge. Intimate, an atmosphere that makes you want to be a little bad. It even has a matching scene, so you can shift from flirty roleplay to tactical combat seamlessly. I mean, assuming the date goes well. And it isn't all fantasy. Chepeku does sci-fi too, like this one, Flesh Mines. I don't think I have to explain why that's a great date spot. Plus, it's paired with a bunch of related tokens, so you can spice up your date with a tentacled horror or a monstrosity of flesh. Don't threaten me with a good time. You can now subscribe directly on their website instead of on Patreon. Use the link below to get maps, scenes, or tokens, or grab the complete fantasy bundle to get all 3 for the price of 2. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm trying to get a reservation for 2 at the Flesh Mines. Can't beat a place with a 3-month waitlist and a biohazard warning. I know I said that the idea of having some sort of dalliance with a blender sounded horrifying, in a bloody way, but guys, I think I'm gonna have to f the blender. I'll dally with Juicer. We'll have a few drinks beforehand, and then maybe it'll feel less weird. I will marry Grandpa Icebeak because it won't last long. Maybe he has a fortune to leave me. And I'll slay Knick-Knack. I'm sorry, Knick-Knack. I just can't with the bugs. Like, I don't think you deserve to die, but if it's die or I have romantic relations with you or marry you, it's gonna have to be die. I'm so sorry. Next batch, Lord Leopon Bonesbury Fazzlesnoot III, who is 30 in human years. Who knows how old he is in dog years? He is a dog folk artificer. Look at him. Oh, what a good boy. He looks like the protagonist of a children's show about like a steampunk inventor dog. Interests: tinkering, reading, explosions. Well, we both like reading. His sexiest quality is that he's entirely a gentleman and will romance you with his full effort. His biggest red flag is that he blows up everything. Yeah, I mean, but I can't help but feel like he exists in the kind of universe where explosions are like fun and they'll like turn your face black and blow your hair back, but they won't actually hurt anyone, you know, like a cartoon explosion. Lord Leopon Bonesbury Fazzlesnoot III. I mean, a landed gentleman for me. Lord Fazzlesnoot III is up against River, Song of the River, they, them, a tabaxi swashbuckler rogue. River is based on my real cat, a flame point Siamese with fiery orange striped tail and ears and a lighter splash of orange across their face. River's most striking feature is their entrancing sky blue eyes, which are entirely devoid of thought. Interests: getting stuck in high places, fastidiously drowning their enemies, nightly 3 a.m. karaoke jams. Listen, I already have 2 cats, so I experience all of these things. The head empty, no thoughts, getting stuck in high places, the 3 a.m. karaoke jams. I love karaoke, but I wish my cats didn't. Their ideal first date is pre-gaming with catnip. Wouldn't do much for me, unfortunately. Immediately followed by racing to the highest nearby point to shout at the sky. Sharing a plate of raw mystery meat, followed by showing their date their hoard of stolen personal items, mostly socks. I am more of a cat person than a dog person. I mean, I love dogs too, but like I have cats, I don't have dogs. But Lord Fazzlesnoot is really seeming like a better option here. Sexiest quality. River would never admit it, but they do love to cuddle with their person, but only when no one else can see them, including their person. Classic cat behavior. Red flag. River may or may not be the reincarnation of an infamous warlord and goes through phases of focusing solely on world domination before they get distracted or stuck in a high place. Also, they have dangerously aggressive poop zoomies. Ooh, yikes. Just so you non-cat owners know, poop zoomies is not as gross as it sounds. It's after they poop, they run around because they're so excited that they have successfully pooped. The poop is in the litter box. All right, our last option. Oh, this is gonna be a tough one. Our last option for this group is Fezich, a 23-year-old Gnoll barbarian, 7 feet tall. Here he is. Literally, he's just a gnoll. He's just a gnoll. This is the bestiality collection. His interests include eating the dead and dying, alcohol, local politics. His ideal first date is a fight to determine if you are strong enough to not be considered food. That would not go well. If I went on even one date with this guy, I would just be eaten. Don't tell anyone, but even though I always carry a sword, I don't know how to use it. Biggest red flags are either the cannibalism or his political career. Yeah, it's a tough choice. Which of those is a bigger red flag? Once again, I feel like the slay option is pretty clear. We're gonna have to slay Fezich. If I don't choose to slay him through the rules of the game, there's no way I would otherwise slay him on our first date. I would lose our combat. So I think I have to dally with Song of the River because I just couldn't imagine living a married life with them. At least if we have a dalliance, it's just one night. And of course, I will marry Lord Leopold Bonesbury Fazzlesnoot III. Because who wouldn't? Who would pick anyone else from this trio for their lawfully wedded dog husband? We would be happy together. Group 4, Lorelei Glimmerwave. She's early 20s, so a baby, a little young for me. She's a mermaid, the one I made. She's my mermaid species that I created for my video about mermaids. I'll link to my video with my homebrew mermaid species in it so that you could also play this mermaid, since obviously Anonymous is enjoying playing Lorelei Glimmerwave using that species. She's 5 foot, so she's lil. Platinum blonde hair with blue highlights, we would match. Tattoos all over, nice. Always ready for a beach episode. Oh, she's cute and ripped. In this one picture, she has like abs. Interests, party planning, caring for her undead parrot familiar, flower picking. Love her. Her sexiest quality is that she is confident, curious, and supportive. And I mean, look at her. Her biggest red flag, the many she has killed. God, I love D&D. Can be a horror monster if she wants to. The eldritch entity she's aligned herself with. Bad at keeping secrets. Listen, I could forgive the many she has killed, but bad at keeping secrets. Next up, Ruben. Physically 24, true polymorph, was cast on a sandwich 2 years ago. Ruben, I get it. Ruben the human fighter who was once a sandwich. Fairly recently a sandwich. The perfect mathematical average of a blonde male human fighter. Deceptively strong, heavily armored, with a bright smile. He looks like a Lannister. Just like, what if you turned a sandwich into like an all-American boy? A learner, a lifelong learner. I mean, I'd still be learning stuff too if I'd only existed in the world for 2 years. Is this like a born sexy yesterday thing? Like, born sexy yesterday from a sandwich. His ideal first date is to find a portal hidden in the city and explore a strange new world with you. We could fight something together and bond, share weird cosmic experiences, and be home in time for dinner. No sandwiches though, cause trauma. Okay, that's fair. If I was with Ruben, I would have to forego sandwiches, or at least in front of him. His sexiest quality, he's got a sleeper build, 20 strength, 18 con, second wind, and is eager to please. He also doesn't have a wide enough frame of reference to kink shame. You know what? That's a good list. His biggest red flag is that he's too eager to please. Come on. That's like going to a job interview and being like, my weakness is that I care too much. He's never gonna stop your bad habits / ideas when he could enable them. He's also still learning boundaries, both his and yours. That could be a dangerous combination with doesn't have a wide enough frame of reference to kink shame if he is not good at setting or respecting boundaries. This would be one of those relationships where you're like adopting a man to foster him so that he can then be a better partner for his forever home. Last one in this group, Tora. She is a very large and muscular bull-like shifter. She has long horns. Her hair is braided and blonde. One of her hands was turned into a mace, parentheses, it was a hag's curse. Ugh. Don't you hate it when a hag turns one of your hands into a mace? Look at her! She's got a septum piercing. Classic bull. She looks like, you know, in a movie when they'll have like an incredibly tall, incredibly strong Nordic woman who is very firm and like doesn't smile. She's like that kind of caricature. Her interests include praying, protecting the innocent, nice, punishing the guilty, nice. Maybe I could get over the praying. Her biggest red flag is that she has anger issues. That actually might be a real problem when she has a mace for a hand. Not somebody that you want to not have control over themselves. The thing is, I really don't want to kill Tora. I don't want to slay Tora because she seems like a nice lady. But I don't know if it would be safe to partner with someone who has a deadly weapon built into their body and cannot control themselves when angry. I can be very annoying. Probably anyone who was with me for any extended period of time would at some point become angry with me. As much as I love like a big, beefy lady, I think the mace and the anger issues are a tough combination. So I guess I'm gonna slay Tora. Sorry. And then the question is, do I want to marry like a lifelong cheerleader who will be my extrovert and, you know, be cute and happy and teach me things about the ocean? Or a himbo sandwich. The thing is, I think I would probably be a better partner for Ruben than for Lorelai. Like, it says she's a sucker for cheesy romantic anything. I'm not good at doing cheesy romantic gestures because I'm like a workaholic and I have like a real out of sight, out of mind problem. So I'm not the more romantic partner generally. And you know, she is super cute, but my type when it comes to ladies is not really like a blonde cheerleader type. That's not really my jam. I got bullied too much by people like that. So I guess I would dally with Lorelai and I would marry Ruben. I would marry the sandwich man. I like sandwiches, but I don't eat sandwiches that much. I don't think it would ruin my life to not be able to eat sandwiches anymore. All right, first up in this next group, Evelyn Casterlieu, a 37-year-old half-elf reborn undead warlock. She would be a beautiful young woman if her flesh were a little bit fresher. Her body is made of the stitched up remains of her family. You know, it's always gonna be tough to date someone who has a complicated relationship with their family. Interests, experimental skincare, flying, plotting. I mean, who doesn't enjoy a little plotting? Her sexiest quality is that she's very family oriented in the sense that the ghosts of her late family are haunting her. But hey, takes the pressure off of meeting them. I mean, does it? Or does it mean you're meeting her family immediately? Her biggest red flag is that her last betrothed was found disemboweled in mysterious circumstances, but I'm sure it has nothing to do with her. Insight check. I mean, at the very least, I think I probably would not be able to marry Evelyn because how would I trust that if we got betrothed, I would not face the same fate? Next up, we have Karin, a 42-year-old human Drake Warden Ranger. Okay, early 40s, an older man. Oh no, he's a hottie. He's a hottie. Okay. You know how sometimes you can tell that art was drawn by someone who is attracted to the gender of the person they're drawing? This drawing was made by someone who is attracted to men. Interests, taking care of those he loves, daughter and dragon. Okay, single father, playing cards, hunting. Just a real man's man. I can't say I am interested in hunting, but I don't know. If this guy approached me and was like, wanna go on a hunting date? Maybe I would change my mind. His sexiest quality is that he is extremely caring and likes to take care of someone. That's good, because I am a baby who cannot take care of myself. So I am already married to a man who has to take care of me. Otherwise, I would never eat. Biggest red flag, he would do anything for the people he loves, which has led to him stealing and getting into bad situations and being thrown in prison in the past. Oh, free him. He did nothing wrong. Finally, we have Shade, the tiefling death cleric. Oh, he's only 20. Baby, a little baby. Oh, this is a little edgelord. He's a little 20-year-old edgelord. He's like, my parents don't understand me. I'm sorry, I know that a 20-year-old is not a child, but when you're 35, a 20-year-old does feel like a child. Like they're barely not a teenager anymore. Interests, proving himself superior and failing. Anonymously authored horror novellas, ritualistic necromancy. All right, great. I mean, he's a writer. Ideal first date, breaking into the cemetery at the dead of night. 2 of the people in this group want to go to a cemetery on their first date. His sexiest quality is his intricate knowledge of the body's anatomy and exactly which organs he'd like to take. Ooh, I don't know if that's the kind of intimate body knowledge that is sexy. Biggest red flag, his unearned self-importance, or the literal skeletons in his closet. Somebody who's 20 and thinks they're the shit, I don't know if I can stand that. All right, Evelyn, who is dead and maybe would murder me. Karan, who is just a hot, nice single father who would take me hunting, I guess. And Shade, a 20-year-old tiefling edgelord. Ooh. Okay, well, obviously I have to marry Karan. I can't like mess with his heart. He has a daughter. Like that would be so awful of me. And also he's hot, but we would have to make sure he doesn't get thrown in prison again. He has a daughter to take care of and now me. I think I have to slay Evelyn, unfortunately, even though she's a much more age appropriate choice for my dalliance, but I just don't know if I could sleep with an undead woman who is made from the flesh of her dead family. I think that'd be hard to get into. So we're gonna slay Evelyn, and I guess we'll have a dalliance with Shade. I mean, to be fair, when I was 20, he would have been exactly my type. All right, first up in the next group, we have Spore Knight, they, them, a 32-year-old Myconid druid. Oh, they're just like a little mushroom person. Oh my god, I can't have sex with this. Interests, helping people, nature, and accidentally committing war crimes. Who among us in D&D? In D&D, sexiest quality, casting detect thoughts to make sure their partner is pleased. I can't do this. Biggest red flag. A leather bag labeled candy full of teeth. Okay, thanks for that, Spore Knight. Let's move on to Wally Wisphoot, a 25-year-old owlin wizard. Wally is a shy and polite-looking owlin who's about 2 feet and 11 inches tall. He wears purple wizard robes with golden trim covering most of his bright blue feathers. He also wears an oversized witch hat with a starry pattern. You're describing a Neopet. Like, I can't marry a Neopet. Sexiest quality, his glasses. They make him look extra cute and hooty. For an internal quality, it would be his gentle demeanor and seemingly eternal patience he has for everyone. I mean, that's nice. You gotta have a lot of patience to date me, I'll be real. Biggest red flag, a huge fear of confrontation, combined with a burning need to be right at all times. That's not gonna work, because I am right at all times. All right, third option, Wayfinder, they, them. Age unknown, has been in low power mode for too long. This is a 5'7" warforged made of stone with smooth convex sapphires for eyes. They enjoy watching fungus and mushrooms grow and pathfinding. It's not gonna work, I'm more of a D&D girl. Okay. Ideal first date, exploring the woods to find hidden areas with plants or fungi. Sounds an awful lot like Spore Knight's ideal first date. Maybe they should hook up. Biggest red flag, turning recently dead things into zombies on occasion. Just on occasion, guys. It's no big deal. All right, well, yikes. I put myself in this situation. I have no one to blame but myself. I guess we're gonna dally with the 5'7" stone warforged. I know that the first Myconid is 32 and that the Owlin Wizard is 25, but they both feel like children's toys. And I just can't frame them in a sexual context. At least the stone warforged feels like an adult. And they're 5'7". Just kidding. Yeah, all right, we'll dally with Wayfinder. And I think I gotta marry Wally because I just think Wally Wisphoot and I have more in common. I think I'd have a better long-term relationship with Wally Wisphoot. Also, I don't know if I could be with someone who carries around a bag of teeth that is labeled candy. I think I would maybe need to know a little bit more about that. So I guess I'm gonna slay Spore Knight. I'm sorry, Spore Knight, you are so cute. All right, next we have Bilner Bronzewind. Whatever the gnomish equivalent of 25 is, this is a gnome wizard. At a towering 3'7", Bilner is slightly above average height for a gnome. Love a tall man. He once had nice hair, but now has no hair on his head after a wild magic incident. Pics show his former beauty. He's insecure about his sudden baldness. Don't be insecure, Bilner. I feel like he could look good bald. He's got a nice beard and mustache situation going on. Interests, wizardry, gambling, long walks through Rubble Park. I mean, I like wizardry. Gambling though, could be an issue. If it's a top 3 interest, could be an issue. Ideal first date, a nice night in a tavern where we can hustle some dwarves at dice. You don't mind loaning me money for the first bet? Don't worry, I'm an expert. We'll double your money, maybe triple it before the night's over. Bilner, big red flag. Biggest red flag, although he's totally good for the money and definitely going to pay her back, he may presently be in a significant amount of gambling debt with a Leonin criminal who's like second in command of a gang. We can't do this, Bilner. You can't drag me down with you. All right, next. Chadwick the Chad Pub Thumper the 11th. His pronouns are he/man. Platinum blonde curly hair, topaz eyes, lightly tanned skin, 6 foot, toned but not ripped. This is a woman writing a sexy man. Yes, sure enough. She, her. The player is she, her. Ideal first date, eating at one of the nicer local taverns, then going to an archery club to show off his skills and point out how much better he is than the other males there. To end it, he'd like to take his date to a local entertainment, preferably of a comedic sort, maybe in the style of the bard Adam Sandler. No, thank you. Biggest red flag? Always wanting to be the biggest, best guy in the room. He's very insecure, so he tries to cover it up by overdoing the alpha male stuff. That's all guys do in the alpha male thing. They're all deeply insecure. All right, last one in this group. Fingers crossed that we're gonna get a good one. It's Vera Glitterarm, a goblin gold dragon bloodline sorcerer. She's 39, an older lady. A 3-foot tall short stack MILF. Interests, innkeeping, teaching, daycare. Oh man. Ideal first date, a quiet time in a scenic unique locale in nature, nice. Ideally with food cooked specifically for the occasion. Okay, love that, love food. Absolutely zero talk about adventuring or jobs or anything functionally loud. She has enough of that already. It is very hard for me to not talk about work. It consumes my entire life. Work is really the only thing that I do. I mean, you know, I would like to think I have an interesting job, but it is the only thing I do. Her biggest red flag, she has nearly 60 kids, 20 of whom are adopted. I cannot marry into a family with 60 kids. I don't even want one. All right, we're gonna dally with Vera Glitterarm, who could say no to a 3-foot tall short stack MILF. And if we have a dalliance, hopefully I'll never have to meet her children. And then are we marrying into a bunch of gambling debt? Of course not. Are we gonna have to marry the Chad? Are we gonna have to marry Chadwick? Maybe I could convince him to go to therapy. Sounds like he's a good guy. I don't want to go to an Adam Sandler show. Sorry, Adam Sandler. Sandler? I hardly knew her. Yeah, I guess we're gonna marry Chadwick. Sorry, I keep saying marry, but it's court. We're gonna court Chadwick, and we're gonna slay poor Billner Bronzewind. I'm sorry, but if I didn't do it, this Leonin criminal would've. Because you're never paying off that debt, Billner, I'm sorry to say. All right, next up we have Arrow, a 24-year-old Air Genasi monk, actually a foundling water Genasi. Oh, that's cute. She's a water Genasi raised by Air Genasi. Oh, she's so cute. This is the kind of character I would want to cosplay. If this were my character, I'd be cosplaying her. Interests, martial arts, spring baths, volunteering at the orphanage. Oh, spring baths. I was like, baths, but only in the spring. No, like baths in a spring. Volunteering at the orphanage. God, that's a real save the cat. Like, you're supposed to like this one. Her sexiest quality, her uplifting cheerleader energy that will make you feel like a queen. Love that. Biggest red flag, she does not understand boundaries. It's okay to say no. Not everyone wants her help, and stop being nosy. I would absolutely 100% be her bestie. Whether or not it goes further than that, we'll see. Next up, Kalis, he, they, a 23-year-old Air Genasi warlock. Okay, several Genasis in this crowd. They are 6 feet tall, have very freckled gray skin, extremely long, pale blue hair that always blows in a non-existent wind, and heterochromia, 1 blue, 1 green. He wears a lot of makeup and clothes of mixed gender expression. Oh, what a fashionista. Fashionisto? Fashioniste? What's the gender neutral version of fashionista? Okay, they're way more stylish than me, and we can't have that. I need to be the stylish one in the, well, I don't know, Josh is very stylish too, but at least Josh doesn't show me up when it comes to dresses. Interests, lying, spontaneous acts of theft, pipe weed. Not something I'd put in my dating profile. Sexiest quality, willing to do anything to have a good time, regardless of shame, morals, or money. I do not consider that a sexy quality, unfortunately. Biggest red flag, either having total amnesia, or still being really into red flags, or having a possessive patron that will drive his suitors literally insane. I don't think you need a possessive patron in order to drive me insane, Kalis. I think we would be a bad match. All right, last up we have Elias Jacoby, a southern boy. A good old 68. That's starting to push it. Oh no, he's hot. Sir, 68? He doesn't look a day over 50. Interests, self-care and spas, fighting rings, and anatomy. Ideal first date, a night on the town to cheer and bet on dangerous blood sport while you pick apart back and forth the techniques of those fighting. I mean, I wouldn't be very good at that. I also can't say that I would enjoy watching dangerous blood sport. I get really nervous when watching recordings of things that really happened where someone might get hurt. Like, I love Survivor, but watching Survivor, I am always nervous that someone's gonna hurt themselves on the challenge, and sometimes they do, and it's awful. Take your earnings to the most expensive spa and ale tasting in town, ending the night together in the warm pools under the stars. I mean, I might be able to get through the blood sport. For the other part, biggest red flag, maybe a little too familiar with humanoid anatomy inside and out. This is coming up so often with these characters. They're like, they might be a little too familiar with the human body because they cut them up. I'm sorry, I can't help it, but I am into him. All right, I know exactly what I'm gonna do. Who am I kidding? I am going to dally with Elias Jacoby, the 68-year-old hobgoblin fighter. I am going to marry Arrow, the Air Genasi monk. Love her. And I'm gonna slay Kalis. I'm sorry, we were not meant for one another. Next group. All right, we've got Abalone, Abby for short. A 27-ish year old siren open hand monk. She's cute, I like her spine fin. Also good that she can transition to tail, not tail, because you gotta have the not tail ability to exist in the world. Ideal first date. As a siren, anything sea related would go down really well. A seafood restaurant by the beach, nice. Going for a swim, nice. Maybe drown a few people and steal their shiny things, normal stuff. You know, I write a lot of characters who like to drown people. I don't know if I personally would like to drown people, but she could do her thing. Biggest red flag. She has a natural intelligence of 1, and the only thing keeping her human-like is her necklace, which increases that stat. If she loses it, she will go feral. Ooh, if she loses her necklace, she reverts to a feral status, intelligence of 1. That is a pretty big red flag, I gotta say. All right, next we have Audacity, a 75-year-old dwarf swashbuckler. She looks fierce. Interests, marrying people, smuggling, bagpipes. Marrying people as a #1 interest is a little worrying to me. Sexiest quality, mutton chops, obviously. Yeah, obviously, we can all see her. Biggest red flag, a lot of exes who she's technically still married to. Much drama. Oh no, what are we gonna do with this group? I can't marry someone who's already married, especially multiple times. All right, last one. Illyra Nightshade Blackwood, a 26-year-old swashbuckler rogue, variant human. She's just like a hot pirate lady. She could teach me to sword fight, so I would have something to do with this sword that I'm always carrying around. Ideal first date. It would take place in her private quarters aboard her ship, the Iron Rose, while at anchor in a quiet moonlit cove. She has her own ship. She never feels the need to raise her voice or prove her power. She simply walks into a room and the atmosphere shifts to match her. Okay, nothing hotter than confidence. Red flag, her lack of trust, because she was sold as a pawn and then betrayed by her own crew. She assumes everyone has an angle. She sees a potential mutineer, not a date. She will likely test your loyalty in ways that feel manipulative or even dangerous. Okay, she's like one of those girls who's gonna watch a TikTok video and then be like, will you peel this orange for me? All right. Oh man. Here's the thing. I can't marry someone who's already married. And I am afraid of marrying someone who, if she lost her necklace, would go feral, because anything could happen to a necklace. So I have to court Illyra Nightshade Blackwood. I could fix her. I think I could fix her. I guess I would dally with Abalone because she sounds like she's a sexy dancer and very charming. I'd be afraid that if I dallied with Audacity that some of her exes would come after me. So I'm gonna have to slay Audacity, unfortunately. I'm really sorry. I'm saying sorry for most of these slayings. Not all of them though. All right. Last batch, last group, because if we're honest, I've been through enough tonight. Kane, a 34-year-old wizard necromancer. Got another spooky dude. Kane is a human-looking man with white hair in a messy mullet style. He has purple eyes with black scleras. He has 2 scars on his cheek, facial hair on his chin, and very anime-looking eye bags. Poor man, he's tired. Oh yeah. This is an anime protagonist. Sexy, edgelord, necromancer, wizard boy. He's 34, so I guess he's not a boy. He's a man. Ideal first date. Kane will sit at a table with a book. You will sit at a completely different table with whatever, and there is no talking or communication whatsoever. At the end of the date, he says he had a great time and Misty steps out of the room. Parallel play, I guess. His sexiest quality is that he cares. Mostly for himself and maybe 1% for you two. That's not a very sexy quality, I'm afraid. Biggest red flag. You'll never know if he's interested in you because of you as a person or because he sees you as a potential undead. Oh no. Oh no. Next we have Dr. Vladov Silviodor Albert Schutzenberger Schwartz, a 36-year-old human artillerist artificer. Oh, the mustache. I'm sure there are so many people that would find this man attractive, but like, I grew up with my dad having a mustache and no beard. So to me, a mustache and no beard is dad look, and I'm not attracted to it. Interests, making dad jokes, not helping the dad accusations. Trying to find a cure for vampirism. It's for his ex. Vladov. We can't do this. Ideal first date, a picnic by a lakeside, sweet pastries, and a meat pie for the meal. Why am I nervous about what's in that meat pie? You have a little bit of a Sweeney Todd vibe to you, sir. Biggest red flag. His ex-wife is the leader of the Zentarim and she's the jealous type. So many of these groupings of characters, there's no good answer. All right, last one. Give me something good. We have Melody Silverlace, a 35-year-old Dampier half-elf shadow magic sorcerer. Melody has long purple wavy hair, red eyes, pale skin, and pointed ears. This is like an anime vampire. Interests, fashion design, journaling, drinking the fresh blood of the living. Yep, all right. Ideal first date. An evening stroll through the apple orchard, lovely. Swapping adventure stories and poetry. After their stroll, they'd get a bite to eat. She would do most of the biting. If she likes them enough, it would end with a kiss under the moonlight. The biting first and then the kiss? Sexiest quality. She can make you just about any garment you could possibly dream up, as long as she also thinks it will look good. But I can do that. I can sew. I don't need a vampire to sew for me and also drink my blood. This is a real problem. I'm not gonna marry the mean necromancer man. The vampire would kill me. I think there's a chance that Dr. Vladov Silviodor Albert Schutzenberger Schwartz is killing his patients and putting them into pies, but I might just be reading too deep into it. Ugh, I gotta dally with Melody Silverlace the vampire, marry Dr. Vladov Silviodor Albert Schutzenberger Schwartz, and slay Kane, but I'm not happy about it. Now that we've increased my body count in more ways than one, I think that's enough dating for the day. With 1,500 submissions and only a handful of characters actually included in this video, I cannot express to you just how many cool characters were left out of this. When the volunteer matchmakers emailed me with their nominations, so many of them were talking about how hard it was to pick just one nominee, even from the 20 characters that they saw. If you submitted a character for this, thank you so much for entrusting me with your weird, sexy, spooky children. I wish we could have included them all, but then this video would have been 3 days long. Also, huge thanks to my volunteer matchmakers whose names are on screen now. I couldn't have done this without you. Thank you for saving me from my own stupid mistakes. If you want more romance-themed D&D content, make sure to check out these 2 videos about how to include romance in your game and whether or not you should be introducing game mechanics for it. And if you're totally over romance-themed stuff on my channel, don't worry, it'll go back to normal after this. No more love, only murder and violence.